Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It truly is disappointing that members of our committee are unable to come together to vote on the nomination of Attorney General Scott Pruitt for the position of Administrator of the EPA. I understand that my friends on the other side of the aisle are not happy with the Trump administration and are doing everything possible to delay voting on many of his cabinet nominees. However, as then Chairwoman Boxer in 2007 stated, elections have consequences. The truth is that no one has been fair or more patient than Chairman Barrasso. I urge my Democrat colleagues of the committee to quit stalling a vote on the nomination. Attorney General Pruitt has been through a grueling nomination process and has done everything that's been asked of him. This includes answering more questions, as we've heard, than incoming nominees for the same position in the Obama, Bush, and Clinton administrations. Many of my Democratic friends will say he has not sufficiently answered many of their questions. I would like to point out there's a stark difference between not having a question answered and receiving an answer that you do not like or can't agree with. I would also add many of the 1,078 questions for the record, which he answered in a timely fashion, were essentially the same questions he was asked at his nearly 6-hour-long hearing 2 weeks ago. It's unreasonable for my colleagues on the other side of the aisle to expect a different answer to the same question. Here are the answers that matter. Attorney General Pruitt has agreed to be transparent in EPA's rulemaking process, something that the Obama administration refused to do. He has agreed to bring stakeholders in the private sector to the table when developing the rules, assuring that everyone's voice will be heard. He has promised to be forthright with Congress and get us answers in a timely fashion whenever we have questions or concerns, something former Administrator McCarthy was unable to do while running the EPA. And lastly, he has promised to follow the rule of law, ensuring that the EPA will go back to its core mission, protecting the environment by carrying out the laws developed by Congress. This will ensure that the EPA will not become a political arm of the Trump administration. It's time for us to put aside partisan squabbles and vote on this very qualified and respected candidate to lead the EPA. Now's the time to roll up our sleeves and get to work. Attorney General Pruitt's responses to the questions put before him during the confirmation hearing earned the opportunity to be considered by the full Senate, and that begins with this committee voting on his nomination. I know some of my colleagues aren't happy with who's in the White House, but President Trump is not only president for Republicans, he is the president of all American citizens and deserves to have the people in place to help him do the job he was elected to do. In 2009, the full Senate approved 7 of President Obama's cabinet nominees his first day in office. It's almost 2 weeks and this chamber hasn't voted on 7 of President Trump's nominees. Republicans have the votes necessary to confirm many of the Trump administration's nominees, and that worries the Democrats, who have fundamental differences with the new administration. I can honestly say I understand why Democrats are upset. I was upset when President Obama was forcing rules and regulations down the throat of Congress. But I say to my Democrat friends, being in the minority in the Senate, House, and losing the White House does not mean your job is done. You have an incredible opportunity as an EPW member to keep the new administration in check, to ensure Attorney General keeps his words, Attorney General Pruitt keeps his word, is transparent and available to stakeholders in Congress. We need to work together rather than obstructing the will of the American people. Though it is not happening today, I'm pleased to support Attorney General Pruitt's nomination in this committee and allow our colleagues a vote on the Senate floor. Attorney General Pruitt is a strong candidate, and I look forward to working with him as the EPA Administrator. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.